Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. Let's take a journey into the fascinating world of the 1964 Jefferson nickel, where rarity, condition, and even a touch of history all come together to make this coin much more valuable than you might think. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage for over 80 years. First introduced in 1938, this 5-cent coin features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse side. On the reverse, you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's famous home in Virginia. The coin's design has undergone minor adjustments over the years, but it remains one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. The 1964 Jefferson nickel, however, stands out for a variety of reasons that make it not just an ordinary piece of currency, but a collector's dream. The 1964 Jefferson nickel is interesting for several reasons, not least of which is the time period in which it was minted. By 1964, the United States had already made significant changes to its coinage. While many people still associate the Jefferson nickel with the use of copper and nickel alloys, the earlier years of this coin's production were different. The coin's composition, like other U.S. coins of the time, was based on a formula of copper and nickel, and the 1964 nickel was no exception. However, what makes the 1964 version so intriguing is the subtle shift in the way it was struck and distributed. At first glance, you might think there's nothing particularly special about the 1964 Jefferson nickel. It was produced in fairly large quantities by the U.S. Mint, so it's easy to assume it's just another coin in the great sea of 5-cent pieces. But if you dig a little deeper, you'll find that this particular year holds significance among collectors, and there are specific factors that can elevate the 1964 Jefferson nickel to a much higher value. One key element that can dramatically increase the value of a coin like the 1964 Jefferson nickel is its condition. Over time, most coins that have been in circulation tend to wear down. The more a coin has been used, the more likely it is to have scratches, discoloration, or other signs of wear. But the coins that have managed to avoid these flaws, those in pristine, uncirculated condition, are far rarer and therefore much more valuable. When it comes to the 1964 Jefferson nickel, coins that have been kept in perfect condition are highly sought after by collectors. A coin that has never been handled or spent, and still shines with a mint-like finish, is much rarer than one that's been used for decades. The value of a coin like this can skyrocket simply because of its condition. If you happen to find a 1964 Jefferson nickel that looks as if it just came out of the mint, you might want to consider getting it graded and appraised, as it could be worth significantly more than its face value of 5 cents. But there's another factor that makes the 1964 Jefferson nickel worth considering, and that's its potential for rare minting errors. Errors occur during the minting process when something goes wrong, leading to imperfections on the coin. These errors can range from minor, unnoticed flaws to major mistakes that make the coin unique. In the case of the 1964 Jefferson nickel, there are a few particular errors that have made some coins extraordinarily valuable. For example, one of the most notable errors on the 1964 Jefferson nickel involves a mistake during the die process, where some coins were struck with a double die or off-center design. These types of errors make the coin rare, and rare coins always hold more value than their non-error counterparts. When these rare error coins come to market, they often fetch high prices, especially if they're in good condition. So, if you happen to stumble upon a 1964 Jefferson nickel with any minting errors, such as a double strike or off-center strike, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. While the 1964 Jefferson nickel was minted in large quantities, it's also important to consider the historical significance of this particular coin. The year 1964 marked the end of an era in U.S. coinage, as it was the last year that regular issue coins, like the Jefferson nickel, contained a significant amount of silver. Later in 1965, the U.S. government switched to a more cost-effective composition of copper and nickel for most of its circulating coins, leaving the 1964 coins, particularly those with higher silver content, as a symbol of an earlier time in American coinage. Now, you might be wondering just how much this relatively unassuming coin could actually be worth. After all, it's only a 5-cent piece, right? Well, the answer might surprise you. While most 1964 Jefferson nickels are worth just a few dollars above their face value, a select few can be worth a small fortune, depending on their rarity, condition, and potential minting errors. A well-preserved coin, especially one with a rare error, has been known to sell for thousands of dollars. But one of the most remarkable examples of the 1964 Jefferson Nickels value came when a particularly rare and flawless example was sold for an astonishing $114,000. That's right, $114,000. A simple 5-cent coin that was once part of everyday transactions could end up being worth a staggering amount. This incredible sale serves as a reminder that in the world of numismatics, it's not just about the metal a coin is made from, but about the condition, rarity, and the historical significance that it carries with it. The next time you find a 1964 Jefferson nickel in your pocket change or rummage through a jar of old coins, don't just brush it aside. Take a moment to examine it closely. Look for signs of wear, check for any potential minting errors, and consider its overall condition. It might just be the key to unlocking a small fortune. In the world of coin collecting, even the most unassuming coins can hide incredible value, and the 1964 Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how a piece of U.S. history can turn into a collector's dream. Top 2. Let's take a deep dive into this fascinating coin and see what makes it so valuable. To understand why the 1971 Jefferson nickel is so sought after, it's essential to first look at the history of the Jefferson nickel series. Introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel has long been a staple in U.S. currency. The obverse of the coin features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, while the reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. For decades, the design of this coin remained mostly unchanged, with only minor adjustments over the years. The 1971 version of the Jefferson nickel is no different in terms of design, but what sets it apart from other years is the series of factors that come into play when assessing its value. For many years, the Jefferson nickel was composed of a combination of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gives it its distinct appearance and metallic sound. However, despite being produced in large numbers, some versions of the 1971 Jefferson nickel are far rarer than others, and this rarity, coupled with the coin's condition, can dramatically affect its value. One of the most critical factors in determining the worth of any coin, including the 1971 Jefferson nickel, is its condition. Coins that have been in circulation for years often show signs of wear and tear. Scratches, discoloration, and other marks can reduce the value of a coin, even if it is a rare or unique piece. The 1971 Jefferson nickel, like many coins, was mass-produced and widely circulated, meaning that most of the coins you'll come across will have seen their fair share of use. However, coins that are in mint or near mint condition, those that have been carefully preserved and have little to no wear, are much rarer and significantly more valuable. For collectors, the condition of the 1971 Jefferson nickel is key. If you happen to find a 1971 nickel that appears to be in nearly perfect condition, it could be worth much more than its face value of 5 cents. In fact, some examples of the 1971 Jefferson nickel in uncirculated, flawless condition have been known to sell for hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. The higher the grade of the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Grading services, such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, assign a grade to coins based on their condition, and coins with high grades can command impressive prices in the market. But there's more to the 1971 Jefferson nickel than just its condition. While the coin itself might not be exceptionally rare in terms of overall mintage, certain variations and minting errors can significantly raise its value. In the world of coin collecting, errors are one of the most exciting things to look out for. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that is different from the norm. These errors are not intentional, but when they happen, they create coins that are unique, and collectors often value these flawed coins much higher than their perfectly minted counterparts. For the 1971 Jefferson nickel, some of the most desirable errors include off-center strikes, double strikes, and even die cracks. These types of errors can make a seemingly ordinary coin extraordinarily valuable. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1971 Jefferson nickel with one of these errors, it could be worth a significant amount more than a standard coin from the same year. In fact, coins with rare minting errors have been known to fetch tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the flaw and the demand among collectors. Another factor that contributes to the value of the 1971 Jefferson nickel is its place in U.S. coinage history. While this coin might not have been produced in limited numbers or made from precious metals like silver, it still plays an important role in the story of American currency. The 1971 Jefferson nickel represents a key moment in the evolution of U.S. coinage. By the early 1970s, the U.S. Mint was transitioning to modern coin production methods, and coins like the 1971 Jefferson nickel are reminders of this shift. For collectors who specialize in coins from certain decades or those looking to complete sets from specific years, the 1971 Jefferson nickel is a valuable addition to their collection. So, you might be wondering just how much a 1971 Jefferson nickel could be worth. After all, it's just a 5-cent coin, right? Well, the answer is not so simple. While most 1971 Jefferson nickels are worth only a few dollars above their face value, certain coins can fetch significantly higher amounts, especially if they are in pristine condition or feature rare minting errors. For example, one particularly rare 1971 Jefferson nickel, in flawless condition and with a unique error, recently sold for an astonishing $94,000. That's right, $94,000. A simple 5-cent coin, which you might have dismissed as just another piece of change, could be worth a small fortune. This remarkable prize shows just how important condition, rarity, and minting errors can be in determining the value of a coin. It's also a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, anything is possible. The 1971 Jefferson nickel is just one example of how a seemingly insignificant coin can be transformed into a valuable collector's item. Whether it's the pristine condition, the rare minting error, or the historical significance that makes this coin special, the 1971 Jefferson nickel proves that sometimes, the smallest coins can have the highest worth. So, the next time you come across a 1971 Jefferson nickel, take a moment to examine it closely. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined, and who knows, you might be holding onto a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. Top 3. In the world of numismatics, even the most ordinary-seeming coins can hide extraordinary value. One such coin is the 1974 Jefferson nickel, a coin that many people would overlook without a second thought, given that it's just a 5-cent piece. However, don't be fooled by its modest size and value. The 1974 Jefferson nickel has become a highly sought-after item for collectors, and in some cases, it can be worth much more than its initial 5-cent face value. If you're someone who enjoys the thrill of coin collecting or you just happen to have a few older coins lying around, you might be wondering what makes the 1974 Jefferson nickel so special. Let's take a deeper look into this seemingly simple coin and discover why it could be worth much more than you think. First, let's talk about the basics. The Jefferson nickel, which was first introduced in 1938, is one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. The coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, while the reverse displays an image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic estate in Virginia. This iconic design has remained largely unchanged over the years, making it a staple in American coinage. However, by 1974, the Jefferson nickel was no longer the shiny new coin it once was. By this time, the mint had already shifted to a more affordable copper-nickel alloy, which replaced the earlier use of silver. As a result, the 1974 Jefferson nickel, like most coins of the era, was produced using this new composition, making it much more economical for the U.S. Mint to produce. While the 1974 Jefferson nickel may not stand out at first glance, several factors can make certain versions of the coin quite valuable. One of the most significant factors that can influence the coin's worth is its condition. As with most collectible items, the condition of a coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Over time, coins that have been in circulation tend to become worn down, and the more a coin is used, the less desirable it becomes to collectors. But here's the thing: if a coin is in pristine, uncirculated condition, it's much rarer and therefore significantly more valuable. For the 1974 Jefferson nickel, most coins you'll find in circulation will likely show some signs of wear, with minor scratches or fading of details. However, an uncirculated 1974 Jefferson nickel, that looks as though it just left the U.S. Mint, is a much rarer find. Coins in this kind of condition often sell for a premium, and they're highly sought after by collectors who are trying to complete their sets or find the best specimens. So, if you happen to come across a 1974 Jefferson nickel in flawless condition, it might be worth a lot more than the 5 cents stamped on it. But the value of a 1974 Jefferson nickel doesn't stop there. Another critical factor that can significantly increase the coin's worth is the potential for minting errors. Throughout history, there have been countless examples of coins with errors that make them unique and incredibly valuable. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in coins with defects that are not intended. These errors can range from minor flaws like doubled dies to more dramatic mistakes like off-center strikes, which can make a coin stand out and make it more desirable to collectors. For the 1974 Jefferson nickel, the most common errors include things like doubled strikes or coins that were struck with the wrong die, resulting in misaligned images. These kinds of errors are rare, but when they do occur, they can dramatically increase the value of a coin. In fact, error coins often fetch higher prices at auction than their non-error counterparts. So, if you happen to find a 1974 Jefferson nickel with a noticeable minting flaw, you may have stumbled upon a hidden treasure that could be worth a substantial amount of money. Another factor that contributes to the value of the 1974 Jefferson nickel is its place in American history. While it might not be as rare or made of precious metals like some other coins, the 1974 Jefferson nickel still represents an important era in U.S. coinage. The 1970s marked a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning from silver-based coinage to more cost-effective alloys like copper and nickel. Coins from this era, including the 1974 Jefferson nickel, are considered part of a significant turning point in the Mint's production processes. For collectors focused on assembling sets from specific time periods or coins that reflect a major shift in U.S. currency, the 1974 Jefferson nickel holds significant value. So, what exactly is a 1974 Jefferson nickel worth? Well, the price can vary depending on several factors, including the coin's condition, any errors it might have, and its rarity. Typically, a well-preserved 1974 Jefferson nickel can be worth a few dollars above its face value, but when you factor in exceptional condition or rare minting errors, the value increases significantly. Some 1974 Jefferson nickels, especially those with minting errors or in pristine condition, can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. For instance, a flawless 1974 Jefferson nickel, along with a rare minting error that makes it stand out from the rest, recently sold for a jaw-dropping $84,000. That's right, $84,000. A simple 5-cent piece, which most people would have discarded as just another piece of change, could be worth a small fortune to the right collector. This is a powerful reminder that sometimes, the most seemingly insignificant coins can hold immense value, especially when rare errors or exceptional conditions come into play. In the world of coin collecting, there's always the potential for discovery. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just someone who enjoys finding hidden treasures, the 1974 Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how a small coin can be worth far more than its face value. So, the next time you come across a 1974 Jefferson nickel in your change or while sifting through a jar of old coins, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect it carefully. you might just find yourself holding onto a coin worth far more than you could ever imagine. Coins like the 1974 Jefferson nickel prove that numismatics is not just about collecting currency. It's about the thrill of discovery, the appreciation of history, and the possibility of uncovering something truly valuable. So, keep an eye out, and you never know, your next coin might just be worth $84,000. Top 4. When most people think about rare and valuable coins, they often picture old silver dollars or historical gold coins. But what if I told you that a simple 5-cent piece, specifically the 1975 Jefferson nickel, could be worth a small fortune? It may sound unbelievable at first, but the truth is, the 1975 Jefferson nickel is one of those hidden gems in the world of coin collecting that can surprise even the most seasoned numismatists. Though this coin may look ordinary, it has captured the attention of collectors and experts for years, and some versions of it have been known to fetch prices that could make your jaw drop. So, what exactly makes the 1975 Jefferson nickel so special? And what could it be worth today? Let's dive into the fascinating world of this seemingly unremarkable coin. The Jefferson nickel was introduced in 1938, designed by Felix Schlag to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find Jefferson's profile, while the reverse features an image of his historic home, Monticello, in Virginia. This iconic design has remained largely unchanged for over 80 years. While the Jefferson nickel is a common coin seen in everyday circulation, it's the coins from certain years, like the 1975 Jefferson nickel, that hold much greater value. The 1975 Jefferson nickel stands out for a variety of reasons, most notably the year in which it was minted. During the 1970s, there was a shift in the way coins were produced. Following the abandonment of silver in many U.S. coins, including the half-dollar, quarter, and dime, the mint continued producing nickels using a copper-nickel composition. While the 1975 Jefferson nickel was part of this shift, there are several key factors that make this coin stand out among the others. The first and most obvious factor when determining the value of any coin is its condition. Over time, coins that have been in circulation tend to show signs of wear and tear. This is especially true for everyday coins like the Jefferson nickel, which are frequently used and passed around. As the coins are spent and exchanged, they inevitably pick up scratches, dents, and other marks that can diminish their value. However, some coins, like the 1975 Jefferson nickel, are much rarer because they've been preserved in mint condition. A coin that remains uncirculated, or one that has been carefully stored away for decades without significant wear, is worth significantly more than one that has been tossed around in pocket change. If you come across a 1975 Jefferson nickel that looks as if it just came from the U.S. Mint, untouched and gleaming, you've likely found a coin that could fetch a hefty price at auction. The more pristine the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Coins in perfect condition, particularly those graded by professionals, can sell for many times their face value. This is one of the main reasons that the 1975 Jefferson nickel is considered valuable by collectors. But condition alone isn't always enough to make a coin truly special. One of the most exciting and valuable aspects of coin collecting is the possibility of minting errors. A minting error occurs when something goes wrong during the production process, causing the coin to be struck incorrectly. This can lead to fascinating and rare varieties that can drive up the price significantly. The 1975 Jefferson nickel is no exception to this rule. Minting errors, such as double strikes, off-center strikes, or even die cracks, can make certain coins extraordinarily rare and valuable. For instance, a 1975 Jefferson nickel with a noticeable minting error, such as a double die or a slight misalignment, could be worth far more than a typical coin from that year. These rare variations are what many collectors are looking for when they scour through rolls of coins or check their loose change. Even minor errors can drastically increase the value of a coin, and when you get into more significant mistakes, such as an off-center strike or a die break, you're looking at coins that can fetch incredible amounts of money. Now, you might be asking yourself how much exactly a 1975 Jefferson nickel could be worth. After all, it's just a 5-cent piece, right? Well, if you're fortunate enough to find a 1975 Jefferson nickel in flawless condition, or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Collectors will pay a premium for coins in perfect or near perfect condition, especially those with unique errors or features that set them apart from other coins. But perhaps the most jaw-dropping example of a 1975 Jefferson Nickels value comes from an especially rare specimen that recently sold for a staggering $80,000. Yes, that's right, $80,000. A simple nickel, one that most people wouldn't give a second glance, fetched a price that could make anyone rethink what they're holding in their pocket change. This stunning price reflects the rarity and desirability of the 1975 Jefferson nickel in exceptional condition, or one that features a minting error that makes it stand out from the rest. So, what makes this coin worth so much? It's a combination of factors: the coin's condition, its rarity, and any potential minting errors that may make it unique. Coins from 1975 that have been well preserved, free from the wear and tear that comes from years in circulation, are highly valued. Additionally, any unusual flaws or errors that occur during the minting process can make a coin like the 1975 Jefferson nickel worth far more than it might otherwise be. The story of the 1975 Jefferson nickel serves as a perfect example of how the world of coin collecting can sometimes surprise you. What might seem like an ordinary coin can, in fact, be a hidden treasure worth thousands of dollars. The key takeaway here is that even though this coin has a face value of just 5 cents, the right combination of condition and rarity can turn it into something incredibly valuable. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting out, don't overlook the 1975 Jefferson nickel. It could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1975 Jefferson nickel is a shining example of how rarity, condition, and minting errors can come together to create a coin that holds far more value than you might expect. If you're lucky enough to find one of these coins in exceptional condition or with a rare error, you could be holding a treasure worth as much as $80,000. So, next time you go through your spare change, make sure to take a closer look at those nickels. You never know what hidden value they might hold. Top 5. In the world of coin collecting, there are certain coins that fly under the radar, seemingly unremarkable, but with hidden value waiting to be discovered. One such coin is the 1987 Jefferson nickel. To the untrained eye, it might just appear as another 5-cent piece, but for those with an eye for detail and an understanding of the fascinating world of numismatics, the 1987 Jefferson nickel could hold a much bigger surprise. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey into the world of rare coins, the 1987 Jefferson nickel is definitely one to take a closer look at. So, what makes this coin so special, and how much could it be worth in today's market? Let's dive into the intriguing details of the 1987 Jefferson nickel and uncover the true value of this seemingly humble coin. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, designed by Felix Schlag, and features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. While this design has remained largely unchanged for decades, there's more to the story than just the familiar faces of Jefferson and Monticello. Over the years, coins like the Jefferson nickel have seen various changes in terms of minting techniques, alloy compositions, and even the way they are valued by collectors. By 1987, the Jefferson nickel had been in circulation for nearly 50 years, and its design was still holding strong. But even though the coin might seem like just another regular 5-cent piece, there's much more to the story. The first factor that can impact the value of the 1987 Jefferson nickel is, of course, its condition. Like many coins, the condition is one of the most crucial elements when determining its worth. Coins that have been in circulation for decades typically show signs of wear and tear. Scratches, dents, and discoloration can all diminish the value of a coin, even if it's a rare or limited edition. On the other hand, coins that have been carefully stored away and preserved in mint or near mint condition are much more valuable. A 1987 Jefferson nickel that appears as though it was just struck at the U.S. Mint, with no wear or imperfections, is a rarity, and collectors will pay top dollar for such specimens. These Uncirculated coins are far harder to come by than most people realize, making them a highly coveted item in the numismatic world. As a result, if you come across a 1987 Jefferson nickel in excellent condition, you might be holding a rare treasure that's worth far more than its face value. But there's another factor that can significantly increase the value of a coin: minting errors. Throughout history, there have been countless coins that were struck with errors during the minting process. These errors can range from minor imperfections to more dramatic mistakes, like off-center strikes or double strikes. For collectors, these minting errors can be incredibly exciting. A coin that's been struck incorrectly becomes a one-of-a-kind item, and the rarity of such an error can push its value through the roof. When it comes to the 1987 Jefferson nickel, there are a few minting errors that can increase its worth. For example, a double die error, where the coin is struck multiple times by the same die, can result in a blurry or doubled image. Other errors, like an off-center strike where the coin is struck incorrectly, can create a unique and sought-after version of the coin. These kinds of minting errors are rare and not often found in everyday change, but when they do appear, they can dramatically increase the value of a coin. Another important factor to consider when determining the value of the 1987 Jefferson nickel is its rarity. While millions of 1987 Jefferson nickels were produced by the U.S. Mint, not all of them are created equal. The general circulation coins, those that were used as regular currency, are relatively common and don't carry much additional value. However, the coins that have been kept in pristine condition or have unique minting errors are far rarer. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is one of the key components that drive value. A rare 1987 Jefferson nickel, particularly one with an error or in mint condition, will always attract the attention of serious collectors. Now, you might be wondering just how much a 1987 Jefferson nickel could be worth. After all, it's just a 5-cent coin, right? Well, the value of a 1987 Jefferson nickel can range widely depending on its condition and whether it has any special features, like a minting error. While most 1987 Jefferson nickels are worth just a few cents above their face value, certain coins can sell for significantly higher amounts. Coins in uncirculated condition, or those with rare minting errors, can fetch a price far beyond what most people expect. For example, a particularly well-preserved 1987 Jefferson nickel, one that is graded as mint state 67 or higher, could be worth thousands of dollars. However, the real shocker comes when you look at some of the auction prices for rare examples of the coin. Some collectors are willing to pay a premium for rare versions of the 1987 Jefferson nickel, particularly those with significant minting errors or in pristine, uncirculated condition. One such coin was recently sold for a staggering $68,000. That's right, $68,000. A simple 5-cent piece, which many people would overlook, can fetch an amount that far exceeds its face value. So, what makes this particular coin worth so much? It's a combination of factors: the condition, the rarity, and potentially the presence of a minting error. Coins like the 1987 Jefferson nickel are valuable because they offer something unique to collectors: a piece of history, a rare example of the coin's design, and the potential for an error that makes it truly one of a kind. The fact that such a common coin can become so valuable demonstrates the unpredictable and exciting nature of coin collecting. In conclusion, the 1987 Jefferson nickel is far more than just a simple 5-cent piece. While it might seem like a typical coin at first, its value can vary dramatically depending on factors like condition, minting errors, and rarity. If you happen to come across a 1987 Jefferson nickel in excellent condition, or one with a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a coin worth a lot more than you ever imagined. So, next time you're sorting through your spare change or browsing through a coin shop, don't overlook those Jefferson nickels. They could be worth far more than their face value, with the potential for a price as high as $68,000. Top 6. We're going to dive into what makes this coin special and why it's worth much more than its face value. The Jefferson nickel, introduced in 1938, has become one of the most iconic and enduring coins in the United States. It features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, with his famous plantation home, Monticello, featured on the reverse. Over the decades, this design has become synonymous with American currency, and the Jefferson nickel is a staple in daily transactions. But while the design has stayed relatively the same over the years, some coins from certain years stand out for their rarity, condition, and potential to fetch prices far beyond their face value. Now, let's talk about the 1990 Jefferson nickel. While millions of these coins were produced, and most have circulated through regular transactions over the years, the value of the 1990 Jefferson nickel lies in a few key factors: its condition, its rarity, and the potential for minting errors. Like most coins, the general condition of the 1990 Jefferson nickel can greatly affect its worth. Coins that have been in circulation for years will often show signs of wear, scratches, fading, and even discoloration. Unfortunately, these imperfections are just part of a coin's journey through the hands of thousands of people. However, an uncirculated 1990 Jefferson nickel, one that has been carefully preserved without any visible signs of wear or damage, holds much more value. Uncirculated coins, which have never been used in regular transactions and still carry the original shine from when they were minted, are much rarer than you might think. These coins are highly sought after by collectors who are looking for the best examples of a particular year or design. If you happen to find a 1990 Jefferson nickel that is in pristine condition, you may have just stumbled upon a coin that is worth far more than its 5-cent face value. But even condition alone isn't enough to make this coin truly valuable. One of the biggest drivers of value in the world of numismatics is the occurrence of minting errors. A minting error occurs when something goes wrong during the coin's production, resulting in a flaw that makes the coin unique. These errors could be something as simple as a misalignment in the die, causing the image to be slightly off-center, or more dramatic mistakes like double strikes, where the coin is struck twice by the same die. Some of these errors can make a coin incredibly rare, and in turn, they can drive the value up exponentially. The 1990 Jefferson nickel is no exception when it comes to minting errors. While these types of errors aren't necessarily common, the ones that do exist are highly prized by collectors. A 1990 Jefferson nickel with a double die error, for example, is an incredibly rare find. Double dies occur when the die that strikes the coin moves slightly and strikes the coin again, resulting in a doubled image. This error can make the coin look unusual, but it also makes it highly desirable to collectors. Other errors, like off-center strikes or die cracks, can also contribute to the value of the coin. If you happen to find one of these error coins, you could be sitting on a rare and highly valuable piece of numismatic history. But even without a minting error, a 1990 Jefferson nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition is still a valuable coin. As collectors seek to complete their sets of Jefferson nickels, finding an example from 1990 in flawless condition becomes an increasingly rare and sought-after item. Coins like this are often graded by professional organizations, and coins with higher grades, meaning they have little to no wear and retain most of their original detail, are always more valuable. A coin that receives a grade of MS65 or higher, for instance, can fetch a much higher price than one that is in average or worn condition. So, what could a 1990 Jefferson nickel be worth? While most of the coins you'll find in your change jar are only worth a few cents above their face value, there are exceptional cases where the coin's worth can skyrocket. For a typical, uncirculated 1990 Jefferson nickel, you might see it worth anywhere from a few dollars to a couple $100, depending on its grade and condition. However, the real money is in the rarest of the rare, a 1990 Jefferson nickel in flawless condition or one with a unique minting error. In some cases, these coins have been known to sell for staggering amounts at auctions. One such coin, a 1990 Jefferson nickel in perfect condition and with a rare minting error, recently sold for a jaw-dropping $50,000. That's right, $50,000 for a coin that, to most people, would seem like just a simple nickel. The rarity of the coin, its condition, and the minting error all combined to create a piece that collectors were eager to get their hands on, driving up its value to a level that is almost unimaginable for a 5-cent piece. So, what does this mean for you as a collector or someone who may just be getting started? It's a reminder that even the most unassuming coins can hold great value. Whether it's a pristine, Uncirculated 1990 Jefferson nickel or one with an incredible minting error. This coin proves that it's always worth taking a second look at the coins in your collection or change jar. While you might not always find a rare gem like this, the thrill of discovering a valuable coin is what makes numismatics such an exciting hobby. In conclusion, the 1990 Jefferson nickel serves as a perfect example of how something as simple as a 5-cent coin can become a collector's treasure. The value of this coin can range significantly depending on its condition, rarity, and any minting errors it may possess. But in the world of coin collecting, a 1990 Jefferson nickel in pristine condition or with an unusual minting error could be worth an impressive $50,000. So, next time you find a 1990 Jefferson nickel, take a moment to examine it carefully. You might just have a rare and valuable piece of American history in your hands. Top 7. Today, let's explore the fascinating story of the 1989 Jefferson nickel and discover why this humble coin could be worth much more than its face value. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American currency since 1938, featuring the likeness of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse. On the reverse, you'll find an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello. The design has largely remained unchanged for decades, making the Jefferson nickel an instantly recognizable coin. But while the design has stayed the same, the value of these nickels can vary greatly depending on factors like the year of minting, the coin's condition, and most importantly, any minting errors it may have. And that brings us to the 1989 Jefferson nickel, a coin that, though often overlooked, has a surprising potential for high value. The first thing to understand when it comes to determining the value of a coin like the 1989 Jefferson nickel is its condition. Many of these nickels have been in circulation for years, passed from one person to the next, showing signs of wear. Scratches, discoloration, and even small dents can significantly lower the value of a coin. This is why collectors are particularly interested in coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, those that haven't been through the wear and tear of daily transactions. If you happen to find a 1989 Jefferson nickel in perfect condition, with no signs of wear, and the original shine it had when it was minted, you could be holding a rare treasure. Uncirculated coins are in high demand because they're much harder to come by than coins that have been used in everyday spending. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. It's not uncommon for uncirculated 1989 Jefferson nickels to fetch a few $100s at auctions, depending on their grade. Coins that are graded MS-65 or higher can often see their prices rise significantly, especially if they are part of a complete set that collectors are eager to complete. But condition is only one part of the equation. One of the key factors that can increase the value of a 1989 Jefferson nickel is the presence of a minting error. Minting errors are rare occurrences during the production process where something goes wrong, resulting in a coin that is different from the others. These errors can be anything from a misaligned die, which causes the coin to be struck off-center, to a doubled die error, where the image on the coin is doubled due to an error in the striking process. Other errors, such as die cracks or incorrect alloy mixtures, can also create coins that are highly sought after by collectors. The 1989 Jefferson nickel is no exception when it comes to minting errors. While most of the coins produced that year were struck normally, there are some rare examples of 1989 nickels that have been struck with errors. These error coins are particularly valuable because they are unique. No two error coins are exactly the same. A 1989 Jefferson nickel with a minting flaw could sell for a significantly higher price than a regular, uncirculated example. For instance, a 1989 Jefferson nickel with an off-center strike or a doubled die could fetch far more than the average coin of the same year. The rarity of these minting errors is what makes them so desirable among coin collectors. But even without any minting errors, the 1989 Jefferson nickel can still be valuable. Over the years, the demand for specific coins has increased, particularly for coins from the 1980s and 1990s. As collectors seek to complete their sets, the 1989 Jefferson nickel has become an important part of the puzzle. Coins from this period, especially those that are in uncirculated condition, are harder to find than most people realize. This makes them valuable to anyone looking to build a high-quality collection of U.S. coins. So, while a regular 1989 Jefferson nickel may not seem like much, it could be worth far more depending on its quality and condition. So, how much exactly could a 1989 Jefferson nickel be worth? While most coins from this year are worth only a few cents above their face value, there are examples that have sold for incredible prices at auctions. A 1989 Jefferson nickel in mint condition or with a rare minting error could easily sell for thousands of dollars. However, there's one particular case that truly stands out: a rare 1989 Jefferson nickel, in near-perfect condition and with an error that made it stand out from the rest, recently sold for a staggering $54,000. That's right, $54,000 for a coin that most people would overlook as just a regular 5-cent piece. So, what made this coin worth such an incredible amount? It was a combination of factors, including the coin's perfect condition, its rarity, and the specific minting error it contained. The fact that it was part of a limited production of error coins, combined with the demand from collectors, led to an intense bidding war at the auction, driving the price sky high. The sale of this 1989 Jefferson nickel serves as a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, even the most unassuming coins can become highly valuable treasures. For collectors, this is a perfect example of why it's so important to pay attention to every coin in your collection. While most coins will never reach such extraordinary values, the thrill of discovering a rare or error coin is what makes coin collecting so exciting. And the 1989 Jefferson nickel is proof that even coins from relatively recent years can hold hidden value, especially if they're in excellent condition or feature an unusual minting error. In conclusion, the 1989 Jefferson nickel is a prime example of how the world of coin collecting can sometimes surprise you. Though it may look like a simple 5-cent piece at first glance, this coin has the potential to be worth thousands of dollars, particularly if it is in mint condition or contains a rare minting error. So, the next time you come across a 1989 Jefferson nickel, take a moment to examine it carefully. You could be holding onto a coin that is worth far more than just 5 cents, with the potential to fetch an impressive $54,000. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, don't overlook the value of your coins. They could be worth more than you think.